Hi, I'm Barbara, founder of January Consulting. I'm a speech language pathologist and a certified lactation counselor. I've partnered with Baby Boldly to bring you this video, which is part of our full newborn feeding course.
The first thing you need to determine when figuring out what kind of pump you need is what the function of your pump is going to be. So, are you a mom who plans to initiate breastfeeding? Do you plan to use a pump to maintain your milk supply when you go back to work or just when you leave the baby for short periods of time? Do you want the option to pump and have someone else feed the baby? Or do you need a pump because you're going to have to use a pump to initiate your breast milk supply altogether? If any of these options sound like you, then let's get into the material.
In order from largest to smallest, you have your hospital grade pump, personal electric pump. This is the kind most insurance companies will send you, a hand pump, milk collectors, and of course, hand expression. Hospital grade pumps are recommended if for any reason you're not able to initiate breastfeeding, but you want to initiate a milk supply, and you're still at the hospital, or you don't have access to a quality pump, or you have unique medical factors at play. An example might be a mom whose baby starts off in the NICU and she plans to provide breast milk but is unable to initially breastfeed her baby. But here's a little secret about hospital grade pumps: they aren't actually quote unquote hospital pumps, according to the FDA. Any manufacturer that makes a pump that is durable for long term and frequent use and can be used by more than one person, where each person has their own parts that come into contact with the milk, can market that pump as a hospital grade pump. So it's not an FDA term, but it is a common term. Now, from a practical standpoint, should you find yourself needing to use a hospital breast pump, then you will likely also have access to support and guidance by a lactation consultant. Some hospitals will lend or rent them out to mothers who need them. Perhaps they don't have a double electric pump of their own yet, or need a different type than they currently have for establishing a supply. There are also lactation consultants and companies who rent them out to the community. As always, I recommend taking advantage of the support available to you when it comes to establishing a supply with pumping. With no reason to expect a NICU stay, a premature baby, or any unique issues, we don't really expect most moms to need to borrow a hospital pump or a multi user pump. A personal electric pump is what most moms use who go back to work after maternity leave or expect to be away from their baby for more than just one feed or a few hours on a regular basis. Most insurances will provide a personal electric pump at no cost, and your OBGYN can write a prescription and send it in to get yours sent directly to you under most insurances. There are a lot of options on the market to purchase out of pocket as well. Which one is best is pretty subjective and based on personal preference and fit. Most are double pumps and are compatible with a hands free pumping bra, or they fit inside of a bra. Which you should consider using unless you prefer to hold them, but no one really does. Hands free is pretty nice.
A manual pump is a really often overlooked, fabulous tool. It's really, really good for the mom who's only away from her baby for a short time, or for the mom who really needs a moment to just relieve the pressure but doesn't want to hook up with all the extra parts and pieces, especially for a mom who can continue to breastfeed her baby frequently. The manual pump can be a really helpful tool. Some moms will get one in addition to an electric pump, just to have on hand because it is such a simple tool with a few less parts and pieces to deal with.
Here are a few examples. One thing to keep in mind is consider the wrist angle and comfort here because you are the power behind this one. So if it seems like it would be awkward or uncomfortable to hold at a certain angle or sustain a pumping rhythm for several minutes, then it probably would be.
Milk collectors are a great tool. They can be something as simple as a cup or more suction based, like a shell or even the popular Haka. And they are a great tool to use to collect a little extra milk on one side, especially during letdown as your baby eats on the other side. Now, one thing to be aware of is anything that is suction based is doing a little more on there than meets the eye as it hangs out. And what I mean by that is if you're very engorged or extra leaky, then a suction based milk collector may accidentally promote oversupply, which can come with a host of issues. So just know that it's doing a little more while it's hanging out there than meets the eye. Also, as your baby gets older, there's a really good chance at some point it's going to get knocked off and spill. Other than that, it can be a really great tool to collect a little milk at a time and have some for a bottle or as a backup or really whatever you'd like to use it as. It's important to note though that it's not going to do enough for you if you are concerned about undersupply. So it's not really going to help you, build a supply or increase supply to the level that you need if there's a concern.
Here are some examples. The ladybug is a shell. It inserts into your bra and just kind of collects some extra milk, minimal suction. You have the haka, which really holds on by suction and kind of hangs off of the breast and is marketed technically as a breast pump. And depending on how you use it, it can really fall more into that category rather than a milk collector. And then you have any clean, food safe container that, if you can hold it or prop it up, technically, it could also collect milk. Lastly, but definitely not least, is hand expression. Hands are underused, underrated, and in my opinion, everyone should know how to hand express. It can relieve pressure and express milk if you're in a pinch and your pump is unavailable. There's no parts to clean. And when you combine hands on pumping while you're using your electric pump or your hand pump, it typically yields more milk.
There are a lot of brands of pumps and different types on the market to choose from, all promising to be the best one. But you know what? Every mom's breasts are unique. Often each breast is unique. So, what fits for one mom's situation and works well with her breasts may not fit and work well for another mom. So, just pick what you think fits your situation the best for now. And then you can always pivot if you need to, if something changes once baby arrives.
I hope you found this video helpful. Be sure to check out the rest of the videos in this series. And for more proactive educational materials on how to feed your baby your way and identify red flags early, check out the link below.